Hello, everybody. Welcome to the latest episode of Dissonant Waves. This is 235, a resurrection of sorts. Ritz and Tricks are here.
Hello.
And on the docket this week, Justice Across the Universe. U2, the Easter Lilly EP. Sleep, the Have Spacesuit Will Travel 420 Flexi Edit single. And Fantasia by Slift. Dirty Harry, Love and Piss. The World at a Glance, Spatial Proximity, and a split EP with short stories about their distance.
Yeah.
Anyone have anything to say? Any comments? Any peanut gallery type questions and concerns?
I think this is going to be a Sonic Adventure 2 episode in the sense of where everyone's headspace is today. Trix is currently fighting the parasite. I am currently fighting the slash in my leg and a head cold, and Dominic is currently fighting two uncooperative co-hosts. So it's going to be a hell of an episode.
I think it's just normal diarrhea, not the parasite.
Well,
there's only one way to find out. If you poop out the parasite, though,
I don't think this is going to be a Mr. Meaty situation.
Yeah. Well, where do we want to start this week? Good answer. You know what? Fuck it. Let's start with Slift.
Okay. I picked the Slift album because Domino ruined my plans for this week.
To be fair, I kind of ruined it.
I'm choosing to blame Domino for next week's pick, though.
You know what?
That's fine.
It was a great pick.
I disagree.
Really?
I think this is my least favorite Slift album so far.
Oh, this is easily my favorite one.
I'm on Trix's side. For Slift, I haven't had much kind of love outside of Umon, which I thought was, in my personal opinion, still their best album. This might be the most like in one ear out the other album from Slift that I've heard.
Oh, that's so crazy to me.
There is too much Dream Theater in my Slift. Waiter. There is too much Dream Theater in my Slift.
Oh, look, it's the theatrical elements that I like. Look at that. Oh, no.
Trix, I think you're on the nose there.
I never liked Dream Theater, and...
To be fair, I don't think many people really like Dream Theater.
Hey, I own a bass with the 1990s John Petrucci Ibanez color paint job on it. So I don't hate the members of Dream Theater.
No, but that's not what I said.
Like
I just said the band, not the band members.
Yeah, there's Dream Theater. Ugh.
Dream Theater is one of those bands where I realized that the only times I listened to them was just playing Guitar Hero. I never listened to them outside of it.
I don't think I can name a Dream Theater song.
Sit down and listen to Dream Theater, and no.
I don't think I can name a Dream Theater song, and I thought this was great. I love the vocals. I love just the presentation. If this is what Dream Theater is like, I guess we'll have to cover Dream Theater at some point.
Domino, you would love Dream Theater, and I mean that in a derogatory way.
Of course you do.
Never like.
Do you have anything to say, Monty?
Dominic.
What was that?
If you dare think about liking the theater one more time, you will be derogatoried.
That's fine. I just...
Yeah.
I don't understand how you could dislike this album as much as you two do. It feels like they're going for something here.
I mean, it depends what you mean by dislike, because in a way, there isn't anything where I can pinpoint and go like, that went off for me, other than, I guess, Trix's Dream Theater's comparison for the overall vibe. But I feel like Slift, like, I'll compare it to Umon, because I know we did cover Ilion at some point.
And we liked Ilion.
Yeah, I was one where I liked it, but I also didn't ever really go back to it. When was the first time we covered them? Back in probably like 2019, because I know
2020.
It was 2020. Okay,
yes.
When we did La Planet Explorer.
Yes, that was the K-pop, Alt Rock, and Slift episode.
Yes. And no, I can still have a bunch of those riffs from Umon stuck in my head. I felt like that was one where the kind of slower nature to it all kind of really got everything going when it picked up. Whilst on here, it feels maybe more cohesive in that sense, but that sort of creates its fault is that there's nothing the same progression doesn't feel like it exists for me on this. Like it's not to
No.
say it's not an album that does no progression or anything on it, but I just don't feel like what it progresses to
I think I can sum
it's
this
worth
up.
it.
I think the reason we like Uman Ritz is Big Dumb Riff.
That is oh so very true.
This album is lacking in Big Dumb Riff.
Yeah.
I can appreciate Big Dumb Riff, but I guess I like other things more. Now, Tricks,
I
though.
fucking love Big Dumb Riff, dog.
I can get behind a Big Dumb Riff. Don't get me wrong. But, Tricks, let's be real for a second. What's the difference between this and something like 2112? Is that not just extreme theater?
2112, I want to say, is probably like the worst comparison because even when I came into that going like, oh, that's the Rush album that I probably had the most attachment to growing up, we did not consider that to be in the more positive of Rush albums. I mean, yeah, that album is 2112 and then like 6 other songs.
Yes. And like
That's true.
2112 is the best part of it, and then there's 6 other songs. Like Twilight Zone's alright. Don't mind a train passage to Bangkok as long as it's like the live version. Not a fan of the some of the stylings of the what's the solid version of that. Go ahead, Ritz.
Yeah, I was gonna say to continue on, get off that sidetrack and answer Dominic's question, and to compare it to 2112, and we can say, well, the difference is that it is just the song 2112, because whilst the rest of the album you can probably compare, and we've had not the same reaction, there isn't a 2112 on
Yes.
Fantasia. You could argue on stuff like Umon and stuff, there's closer to that, but there isn't on Fantasia.
Domino, where are the priests of the Temple of Fearings with their brave computers that fill their hallowed halls? There's no moment like that sticks in your mind like 2112.
I mean, the Day of Execution has some pretty great vocal like bellowing of the Day of Execution. I will say.
Where are my libertarian politics, Dominic? Where's my defense of Ayn Rand?
I mean, they're French. They probably have some politics that we're not familiar with.
Where's my song about Bastille Day?
That's a great question.
Because Rush has a song about Bastille Day, Domino.
Yes, they do. I'm sure they do.
It's called Bastille Day. It's off of Caress of Steel.
We didn't listen to that one, so excuse me for not knowing right away.
I mean, I feel like out of all bands though, Slift would probably be one of the more likely to have a song about Bastille Day.
Yeah.
I guess
Maybe potentially likely than Justice.
Sure, absolutely. I mean,
Yeah.
yes, this is a very French episode. Actually, looking at it,
We have 2 French bands. That means it's very French.
Yep, that's the most amount of French we'll do in a single episode. If you ask for more, we will run away.
Oui, parlez-vous français? Comment ça va? Je m'appelle Chis.
Every single line of French I know, it comes from the Art versus Science song Parlez-vous français?
I took 7 years of French.
And that song's basically the only French in that song is Parlez-vous français? S'il vous plaît, ma chérie, and that's something Mona Lisa. Yeah, I can't even remember the full of it. And everything else in that song was sung in English. So, call me very uncultured when it comes to France. But yeah.
Anyways, Slift.
I guess
sorry, and from the Petite League song in San Michael.
And French New York.
My bad. Sorry, Dominic.
I guess I'm just not seeing, like, other than the big dumb riffs not being there. Is that truly all it is that's saying that this one is lesser because it's just lacking that?
No, it is technically impressive. Remy Fawcett does shred quite a bit in this album. It's just I don't come to Slift for shredding. I come to them for the wacky and psychedelic guitar, the big dumb riffs, and just the mindscape and soundscape.
And Dominic, to answer your question, for my answer, yeah,
At least you're being honest.
maybe I just really do just like Slift for getting the big dumb riff, and that is all I appreciate, and that was enough to carry him. Maybe that's true.
Hey, nobody talk for 2 seconds. Just give me just a moment of silence, please. Hello. Okay, I think this is better.
Yeah.
I thought you were about to come out with a big dumb riff after
No.
the cry. That would have.
I thought you were about to say, Ritz. I thought you were about to come.
I'm trying to figure out.
If Dominic put out a big dumb riff, I might have.
I don't think you two listened to the episode that just went live about the week of hatred and agony. But there was a lot of echo that week, and I'm trying to figure out if I can make that not happen anymore.
That is
Gotcha.
fair. Anyone who listens to this podcast for audio quality is at the wrong podcast.
Yes.
We judge other people's audio quality, not our own.
I'm trying my best.
Crying my best.
This is a hobbyist DIY podcast. You get what you get.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And sometimes you get big dumb riff.
And some weeks sound great, and some weeks sound like shit. That's just how it goes. But no.
So, Domino, when do you come to New York to record your big dumb riff?
When I safely have the money to make sure I can pay for my time there.
Absolutely fair. Crash on my brand new IKEA couch.
I consider it.
Personally, for me, going back onto the Slift stuff, this was a bit of a disappointment to get through. I couldn't actually pinpoint a reason or a specific point. So I shouldn't say a reason because we've already said it's kind of the lack of punch, but a specific point in this album where I could go like, oh, that's bad or anything like that. Because I don't, it's still a technically good album. But yeah, this just personally for me, didn't hit.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, I think this is probably going to be in my end of year list somewhere. I'm wondering, is this more metal? Is this more emo? Like, there's definitely some vocal fry and some real passionate screaming that rivals anything on an emo album. There was like Fantasia is great, Waiting Man is great, Day of Execution, Secret Mirrors, a really nice closer. It just hit in the way that no other Slift album has hit for me.
Oh, that's the Dissonant Waves. We now go back to your regularly scheduled agreeing on everything. Finally, Dominic attempts the big dumb riff.
Big cum riff.
On my Christian podcast.
That's the name of the episode.
On my Christian podcast.
Big cum riff.
The Big Cum Riff Resurrection. Anyway, I like Slift. You two didn't. My favorites, like I said, are Fantasia, Waiting Man, and Day of Execution. Least favorite's probably Orbis Tertius.
For me, this is the blunder.
I'm pulling up the track listing right now. Favorites for me. Storm of Wings was pretty good. And the Day of Execution and Secret Mirror. No real least favorite. I didn't hate this. It's not my favorite Slift.
Favorite Slift.
You put out Uman, I'm going to judge you on Uman.
That's true.
But how do we feel about that single from Sleep?
So, there's some backstory to the Sleep single.
Okay.
This is a new band. This is not the original Sleep we have covered. This has a new guy on drums and Bubba Dupree on guitar instead of Matt Pike. And you can definitely tell.
Yeah, it's no Dope Smoker.
No, it's smooth, but it's not the same.
It's a dumb riff, but is it a big dumb riff?
Not quite. It's a little more EQ'd.
Yes. No crushing wall.
But I also did not hate that for this single.
No.
Honestly, I thought
I
the
think
single...
I would like this band if it had another name. Or if this
Sleep
was another
2.
band that wasn't Sleep.
Better yet, call it Woke.
Well, technically, another part of this that's interesting that could be a jumping off point in the future if I'm smart about this is that Al Cisneros, the bass player and like the main brain behind Sleep, was in a super group already with Bubba Dupree called Shrine Builder.
Okay.
And don't bite me. I tried listening to a little bit of it earlier, and it just didn't stick with me. So I super don't have much to say about it at the moment. But I will be listening to more Shrine Builder in the future, and it might make its way on the podcast. More Sleep? Question mark? Maybe. Or
Okay.
well, we might also talk Shrine Builder.
That's fine too. I mean, I would love to see more of what this new version of the band has. Do I wish it had a different name? Yeah, probably. But I don't know. Not a bad start.
I do wish also. Forget already where I was going. Oh wait, another band we have to cover at some point because you guys have listened to at least one song by them, and that is "High on Fire." That is Matt Pike's solo project.
What song will we listen to?
Evolution or Devolution off of it was on the 26 American Wasteland.
Oh, I wonder if it was on Skateland, because that's the one that I played.
I don't think so.
I don't think I've really ever touched American Wasteland on consoles.
Unfortunate.
I'll get to it eventually. I have a GameCube, a PS2. I have an Xbox. I have all the systems I need.
You also have a PC, and Rethawed is pretty good if you ignore the racist creators.
Oh no, I did not know about that.
Fairly recent-ish drama.
It's always something, isn't it? You can't just enjoy things. It always have to be, oh, we're actually bad people.
Yep.
Alright. Anything else to say about the Sleep single?
I haven't really talked about it myself, but I don't really have too much that I grabbed from this. Either I did enjoy it more than I enjoyed the Slift album personally. Although it's a bit hard to compare a song to an album.
Unless it's Stonestalker.
Yeah, it's not something I personally kind of gravitate towards, so my opinions of it probably mean shit all. But yeah, I appreciated what I was hearing, even if it didn't really resonate with me.
Hell yeah.
I thought these were both really strong picks this week, Trex. Good job.
Again, I wasn't really huge on either of them.
Thank you.
Now,
Someone
Trix,
else.
what are we doing next?
I want to shit on this fucking what the fuck are their name? U2 EP.
Yeah. You come to the other end of the horseshoe, where we started this journey by listening to Justice and U2, and now we're ending this journey by listening to Justice and U2. And because U2 decided to do a fun little resurrection Easter thing and have an EP on Ash Wednesday and an EP on Easter. And this is their Easter EP. They should have just stuck to one EP.
30 fucking minutes long. How the fuck is it an EP?
That's what they call it, the Easter little EP.
Yeah. You know, after the whole Divine Playhouse controversy over here in Sydney, where a bunch of Christians have protested a church becoming an LGBT clubs, I wasn't probably ever gonna respond positively to a Christian song called "Coexist," but I might have if it wasn't Bono doing a 7-minute wank fest.
These changes.
Yeah, yeah.
I gave the first EP credit for being like surprisingly alright and not like devolving into just bland stadium rock. I kind of take that back for this one. It's not even bland stadium rock, really. It's just kind of bland songwriting overall.
There's a great video when Todd in the Shadows does his least favorite songs of the year from a couple years ago, and when he got to number one, he just said that sometimes songs are or shit just isn't offensive or anything like that. There's no um reason to get mad. You just listen and you go, that was the worst thing I've heard all year, and then walk away. And that's basically how I feel if he's still in the EP.
First thing you've heard all year.
Up from this year. I'm not going to say all year. I'm not, it's definitely no Kevin Federline. It's definitely no oh fuck, I already forgot. It's definitely no whatever that bro. Yeah, no Bro Spice. I've already got
Gang.
maybe a Bloodhound Gang, to be honest. It's not as stupid. I had blocked out in my memory. It's no Train. I was really like, what did we cover last week? And I just like, I don't remember because it's that bad. I don't want to remember it. I'm like, yeah, fuck, of course it was Train. It's not as bad as Train. Yeah, Bono can at least applaud that. But this is down with one of my least favorites from the 2026 one. This is someone just needs to tell Bono. Just really needs to tell Bono that sometimes, just maybe sometimes, and this has been very very kind of gracious towards Bono. Sometimes your ideas might not be that good. And just think about it. This isn't interesting, pretentious wank in a sense of we're at least exploring a new sound even if you've done it wrong or attempting something.
It's fucking you two.
Yeah, it's just fucking you two being you two, and it's just like, I'm good. I'm really good. Please. Please, you didn't have to do this one.
I mean, I guess I would say, like, I think that's, like, the first song is the strongest, and it's not that strong, but at least they started out on the best possible foot. And then it just kind of just keeps dipping down and down and down and down.
Yeah.
Like, we get to the point where he's just doing church chants, and it's like, I guess, sure, man, whatever. Whatever you think I'm supposed to get from hearing you do Kyrie Eleison or whatever the fuck, I'm not getting it.
Bono, I just want to say, from the absolute bottom of my heart, fuck you.
Damn.
This is the true absence of anything good. I feel like, yeah, maybe there isn't actually much to hate on this, but it just feels so devoid of an actual personality. Like, if this was U2 in the 80s doing this, would this actually still have been as popular?
No. This is AI Corpo Swamp.
You two would never have broken out if this was what they were putting out.
Yeah. You can't say, I mean, U2's at a stage of their career where you're not going to get the mega hit that you had back in the day. So yeah,
There's
what
never going to
you're
be
putting,
another Joshua Tree.
and they probably recognize that. So at this point, what you should just be putting out, unless somehow you're with a label that somehow thinks that everything that has to come out has to be commercial, which, trust me, if this is coming out, they're not thinking that. Then what you're putting out has to be truly what you want to put out.
And the first
no
album,
other excuse.
the first album, the first
already
EP felt like that. The other one felt more like that.
Yeah. Yeah, sorry for interrupting, but Dominic. But yeah, that's the point. That's the only explanation can be that this is what music they want to put out. You know, some bands you could just say what they want to put out is just standard rock music, whatever, fine.
Green Day.
Fine. Yeah, even if this, you know, in this case, if that's what they want to put out, fine. But the only thing you can be making at this point in your career is artistic statements. You can't be making hits. It's done for you. It's how it is. Yeah, can you say that sucks? Kind of, but also if you were a massive hit maker in the 80s and 90s to the early noughties, I mean, you had a pretty good prime there. It's time for rubber bands to have a go. So, and you still got so much of a legacy on there that you're selling out shows. You're still making money off all of those hits. that
Yeah.
the point of is it fair doesn't even matter anymore. It's just literally all you could do right now as a band is put out whatever music you want to put out, and what Bono and the rest of you two want to put out is a wank fest.
I am all for
I mean, you've
artists.
listened to U2, right? U2 is just a wank fest.
I know U2 is just a wank fest. I've never been a big U2 fan, but at least some of their uh, older Wankfest songs can at least go, I can understand the commercial appeal, and you're maybe not the biggest artistic statement, but it's still making a hit.
Fair.
I am all for artists exploring their creativity well into their 70s, 80s, 90s. I think it's interesting. I am fascinated by Clint Eastwood. If he puts in another movie, I will definitely see it because I just cannot believe that he's like 95 and still making shit. In a similar way, I would love to believe that U2 can still put out something that's meaningful and decent. And like I said, the last EP was kind of doing that. This EP is not. It's like, it's like when we covered Willie Nelson. It's like I just want to see what the man's doing.
I will say one good thing. I will give this album one compliment, and that is that goddamn Adam Clayton has a great tone on this fucking EP. Great bass tone.
That's good at least.
Favorite would by a technicality have to be "Sung for How." It's not particularly a good song, but you're all right. Yeah, it is the best out of all that's on it. Coexist, I think, has to be one of the worst songs from 2026 that we've listened to.
I kind of just agree. Like it's just a perfect step down in quality each song.
I am going to say blender of bullshit.
Like he you can just tell he was trying something with that Coexist song. Like it was getting all electronic and weird. I think it ends like with a really weird like double beat or something like that. Like just some random notes out of nowhere.
Yeah.
He was trying something with that, but it's unintelligible to me.
Fuck this EP.
Well, where do we move to next?
We talked about U2, so we might as well keep talking about Love and Piss.
Dirty Harry. You were talking about Clint Eastwood or something, weren't you?
I was.
Yeah. Dirty Harry, Brisbane-based kind of alt country band. We did their single Japan and their 10 tracks before the end of the year. So basically on the last episode, they got top 10 in the 4 Triple Z countdown with that song. So naturally, they decided when they put out the debut EP to not include it, which I think is based. It doesn't really matter when top 10 in the 4 Triple Z doesn't mean shit in terms of commercial anyway. But I find it funny. Anyway, yeah, Love and Piss.
I think it's very funny how many bands are starting to sound like Wednesday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wednesday's a good band. I don't see the problem.
It's just one of those trends. It's like that's a very recognizable sound, and
yeah,
it was fucking Rat Boys that went there, kinda, and now we have Dirty Harry really going there. I think this is even closer.
In a sense, I feel like there's enough neurons to separate them still though. I feel like Dirty Harry's a lot grungier, still just kind of with their kind of tones, but I mean the structures and stuff are undoubtedly still there. And personally for me, I'm happy that they haven't just done Japan sometimes. In fact, I would say that they haven't done it once on this EP, so it's good to see them kind of explore a bit. Personally, for me, I thought the kind of start of this EP was a little disappointing. Like I'm not too big into the title track, or I think the single works as a single, but also it isn't one that grabs me. It grabs me as much, but then after that, where the songs are longer and they all kind of give themselves time to actually progress and show off the vision of this EP, it actually gets a lot stronger.
I think
So
I
this is
fixed my audio issue.
Oh, hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
So for me, this is a true stronger second half release.
This is more of me finding this one to be a blunder, whereas you guys found the other stuff I like to be a blunder this week. This was more of like, this is generally good. I like this. I like this more than the Rat Boys album.
Trix has not said their opinion. We do not know if they like it or not.
It's pretty good.
I'm more just comparing it because you guys said Slift was kind of a blunder.
Yeah.
Obviously, we all agree that U2 is a blunder-ish mess. But where you guys did not like Slift, I did not like this one as much. But I do like it.
I can understand the blender call on this one because I will agree. Although I personally don't call it a blender because I probably resonate a bit more with the sound. They don't go too far in the exploration. Like there is a bit of exploration of their sound on this EP. For a young band, it's always great. Blah 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 blah. Etc. We're still judging it as the EP. Yeah, it doesn't stray far from the path. I think Give It Back might be probably like the furthest they stray, and it's still not that far. Which is fine for the band at the level that they are, because I don't think this is a band that's got too many other side projects or too much other experience in here. It's a pretty kind of fresh one. I could be wrong. Maybe some of these members have been in other projects. Well, they probably are in current other projects. Just knowing how the music scene kind of works. But if we go back 10 years, they're probably in school.
Yeah.
We kind of do.
Mm-hmm.
And on that, so I find EPs like this, they don't end up being kind of like my favorite EPs of the year or anything like that. Albeit songs usually will still end up in playlists and stuff like that. But they end up showing off why an artist is look out for them, because efforts like this, you when you see those attempts to kind of refine the sound and define what the band is and what they're going for, you appreciate that basically.
Yeah.
Is what I can say. And I feel like the moments on here, like Mountain Song and Big Light, which is on that second half, where I feel like the sound actually gets to better show off what the sound better works with what they're doing on those songs. I'm saying it in such a pretentious and shit way, but I'm also like fighting
Say
a
you
head cold
pretentious
here,
shit, bro.
I'm pretentious shit. I'm pretentious shit. But I generally like what they're going for on those songs more so than I do on the first part of this release, where it feels like they try to be a bit kind of a lot angstier, and I just don't really think it works kind of like the same. I'd say like the first half of this feels angsty, whilst the second half feels sad, and I feel like they pull off the sad vibe a lot better than they do the angsty vibe.
Well, I think part of that's because the sad vibe sounds less like Wednesday.
Potentially.
Yeah.
And so they've kind of gone on to something that they like, and they're also in the same EP album, whatever you want to call this, pulling away from it. Like Love and Piss is the most Wednesday sounding they get, and then they don't sound as much like that in future songs.
Yeah, I would agree.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's probably not too much to say more about Dirty Harry. I did get to see him live the other day. They pretty good at recreating the sound of their releases live, which is always nice to see. It's always good to see young Brisbane bands spend all their money on one weekend in Sydney in attempt to sell 14 gig tickets.
Only 14?
Good on them. Well, I'm trying to include people who weren't in the bands. There were 4 bands playing that lineup. Yeah, I mean, it kind of is. Yeah, but that's just currently how it is. I wish it was more. I mean, I personally bought 2 gig tickets because I took my friend along. Who he enjoyed them, but he enjoyed one of the openers more, but just happens.
Yeah.
Yeah, it happens.
Yeah, they probably sold more than 14 tickets. I don't know how many of the how many people actually bought the tickets. I didn't do a head count. Yeah, all right number, but it's not. I mean, the venue itself, I think, can only hold like 80 people.
Sure.
So it's not like it's a large venue anyway. But yeah,
I
I don't
guess
know. One day, people outside of the cities bands are from will actually give a shit about the band. But keep in mind, I saw Proto Martyr do a sold out show. Craning was opening for it, and no one fucking showed up for Craning compared to what they did for the Melbourne band. So
I,
sometimes people are just idiots.
I'm
Yeah.
trying to think of how many times I've actually been to a show where there has been like very low attendance. I think Tricks. I think the Petite League show in Nashville was probably one of the lower attended shows I've been to.
Didn't you say that the St. Louis was even smaller?
Um, well, that was like a house show, so that like that was Kansas City, but that was like fuller feeling. You know what I mean?
Gotcha. Yeah.
Like that was like when you had to like ask for the address, right? So you only had so many
Yeah.
people in a garage or whatever. Whereas like the
Gotcha.
Nashville show, it was like I don't know, half to 3/4 full of
Yeah.
people kind of standing around.
I'm trying to
Outside of
think
that,
what's the lowest attended ones. I know for King Street Crawl, unfortunately, Jack Riley didn't get much people at his. That was all just people who knew him or talked to him at gigs and stuff like that attending. But I think that still ended up having about 15 people watching his set, so it wasn't terrible. Ursula, when they played Sidefest in Brisbane, everyone was in the other room watching, I think, the boys play, so there was 7 people watching their set. And Bread Club, when they played at a brewery in Manly, they had their friends on one table, which I think was about 6 people, and me and my friend on the other table.
hmm. Like I think even like the early Greek theater shows I went to mostly got packed, but there were so many bands on the bill. I don't know if it was for them or somebody else.
Wild.
I'm just going to the
Trying to
wrong
think if I can
shows.
think of.
Well, no, I am.
I
No,
wonder
I'm
if it was
not.
the
But
worst attended ones.
but
I,
I'm
I,
interested. I know they have to exist in Chicago. Not every musician band concert could be as well attended as what I've been to.
hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Like there just simply cannot be that amount of people.
No.
I'm now very tempted to see if I can find another case. I mean, Symmetrical Dogs wasn't too big of an attendance, but I still feel like that had about 30 people there.
Ritz, you should make it a goal to be the only one who shows up for a show at some point.
Oh, fuck it.
I would stay no matter what.
That'd be
Let's keep that in
rad.
mind.
Well,
Oh.
that'd be kind of sad, but it'd be kind of interesting.
Have a whole band, have a couple bands just perform
Now,
for you.
well, yeah, well, keep in mind that like being the only one at the show, I'm talking about who's watching in the crowd, and keep in mind even with stuff like Symmetrical Dogs, as I'm saying, the band members of the other bands playing that night are usually there. It would be actually insane to catch a show with only one person in attendance.
And yet you hear about
So,
these shows, in passing about like the times that they play to like 12 people in a bar somewhere.
Yeah.
you know what? When I saw Any Young Mechanic, last year, that was not a huge turnout. I think that was a true case of like 12 people in a bar, and that was a 5 artist lineup, but every like the 4 artists before them were just members of the band doing a 2-song set.
Mm.
So that actually would have probably been the closest. Now you got to keep in mind when I'm most there's also possibly like the people running the merch that counts. They got friends and stuff. It is
It's also relative to the size of the venue.
yeah. So it would be incredibly hard to get like just me as the only person there.
Yeah.
You would basically have to say you're playing a private gig just to me beforehand, which God no.
I mean, I think we could exclude if it's someone that's running merch or in another band. I think yes, they can be in the crowd, but if you are truly the only audience member,
if we're going to exclude friends of the band and merch and staff, and for people who were at the show without all that for the show, then the absolute closest would have been Bread Club, because that would just be me and my friend.
That's crazy. Bread Club's good.
No, I know they're absolutely fantastic, and that was not a common occurrence at Bro Club because the show that they played in the Inner West in Petersham was a near sellout show, and that probably had about, I would say, close to 100 people there. This is just fucking Manly. No one goes out to Manly.
Maybe I need to travel more for shows.
That is a realistic nature of just. What band was it I was talking to? It was Des Cortez last year, where they said that they played a show in Newtown, and it was a near sellout show when they were the headliners. And then the day after, which is where I saw them at in Shark Bar, there was probably about 20 people there or something like that. Shark Bar had its own issues and all that. And they said, like, yeah, no one's showing up, and everyone went to the paid show yesterday, no one's coming to the free show, but it's just like that.
I mean, that's kind of endearing, isn't it? They went to the paid one, not the free one.
Yeah, and it's just location, it's just timing, it's just a lot of things. Full credit to Des Cortez, they actually just played to their potential, despite it, and I think that's great. You know, because coming from a sold out show to that can be kind of heartbreaking, but yeah, so it's just the state of live music.
Thinking about it more, I think when Petite League came to Chicago and played at Reggie's, I think that crowd was not super big either. But we were all at, like, small tables, so it was kind of hard to see. But yeah, it's probably one of those shows. It's probably, for me, the least attended I've been to, but I feel like there's room for a bottom still.
I think when I saw Petite League in the city I'm living in now, it was like 40 people.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it remains to be seen.
Realistically, no one should wish to go to a gig where they're the only person there.
No. It's just an interesting, like, what if kind of scenario. Like, I would not wish that upon anyone. It's just like, what if I was the only one there?
But you know, there definitely have been times where I've at least seen a set where I've basically been one of the only people there or something like that. Not that. It sucks, but it's how it is. At least for Dirty Harry, as we go back to them, we can say they did get a couple of people there who weren't you know, friends of the band prior or anything like that. They came to check it out, and that's all you can basically hope for.
Yeah.
Favorites for me off this, Mountain Song, Big Light, and Give It Back. I think the final 3 songs in here are the absolute strongest. Least favorite would probably be Love and Piss.
See, I really like Love and Piss, and I think my least favorite is probably something like Big Light.
Damn.
I am going to call this a cheese sandwich.
All right, well.
Can I call them cheese sandwiches anymore now that I have a dairy allergy?
Oh, come on. Let's not play semantics, Trix. Come on.
Yeah.
Vegan cheese sandwich.
Dominic, where are we going to
That
next?
just sounds sad.
Yeah, don't be sad. Just call it a cheese sandwich. You can enjoy it from afar.
Okay.
Let's cover these 2 other
Cheese
EPs.
Yes. As I probably described it as the early, like the earliest Word at a Glance I could find, but I meant the earliest stuff on Bandcamp. It's not actually the earliest Word at a Glance EPs. This would be probably the second era of Word at a Glance and what songs they were doing. This is back in 2012 where they did more just kind of standard Scramsy. Before this, they were kind of a more trinkly emo, which probably would have been good for Dominic since you like that shit. But maybe that's for a different time. Yeah, maybe that's for a different time. Yeah, one's a split with a band called Short Stories About That Distance, which, like the Arrows split, is done with an international band. And one is called Spatial Proximity EP, which, knowing Dominic's love of revisiting stuff when it's been changed, they did actually do another EP for Spatial Proximity afterwards that was apparently done with an experimental film made by Scott themselves.
Okay.
And includes ambient tracks afterwards. Will we come to that for in our coverage of Word at a Glance? At some point, potentially.
Damn.
This is just where to start with them because as I've made many allusions to, This band has never been consistent in what sound they're going for. The only thing actually consistent about this band over the 18 or so years that they've been a band for is Scott.
And Scott the Waz. No.
Hell,
No.
Scott here.
Next time I see Scott, I'll get them to record a "Hey yo, Scott" here. They might not want to do it, but we'll get it. Goddamn.
Hell
Yeah.
yeah.
So this is back when they were probably fresh out of high school. I would say I'm doing the estimate there. I think they started as a high school band.
Okay.
Okay.
And how long did these go for in total? About 10 minutes.
Collectively, maybe. And the
Yeah.
first one is like doing the math here. 5 minutes.
Yep.
And that's 3 tracks. The other one's a bit longer because it has 2 artists on it.
2 bands on there, both which kind of sound pretty similar. Let's be a bit realistic. You know, it's not like they sound the exact same, but
No.
they're going for the same styles of emo at this point. I admittedly don't know too much about short stories about their distance. This is actually kind of the first that I've uh heard about them, but it sounded alright from what we're listening to
It
this.
sounded okay.
I
I liked World at a Glance better.
Yeah.
I don't know enough about short stories to say if they have better output or they have more output or anything like that. My investigation and research has been kept kind of Australian. Apologies. So apologies to short stories, but it was a good Saturday split. But yeah, no, I do like the World of a Glance stuff. Probably a bit more. Is that some Australian bias? Yeah, probably.
They have a song called Cloudgate, World at a Glance. I wonder if they're talking about the Bean in Chicago.
The Beam. Fucking Ish
I
Kapoor.
Yes.
yeah, fucking Ish Kapoor. I would disagree because I don't think they would be singing about Chicago, but I'm also not them. So
I'm just go. What else? What else is Cloudgate?
um, I don't know. You know what? Fuck it. You know what, Dominic? It is about Chicago, just for you. We're not even gonna ask them. We're just gonna say it is because I don't know what it is about.
The world is about Chicago, but only for Domino.
The world in Chicago at a glance.
Now I'm feeling patronized. Thank you.
That's what we do here. Now, chicks, what did you think of World at a Glance?
Kind of blendery for me, not gonna lie.
I want you to hold on to that opinion till to the very end of covering World at a Glance, because you know how you do the shaky graves every once in a while.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's my plan with World at a Glance.
that's fair.
Interesting. You're
Yeah.
coming
I
down
don't
to our
think I
level.
have as much distaste for World at a Glance as you do for Shaky Graves.
I assume by the end of it, and consider me probably getting a bit presumptuous. I have a feeling you might like some World at a Glance by the end of it.
I'm sure I'll like some.
It's not entirely possible.
This is bringing up probably the longest running a band on the Scrams directory. As I've said, they've been active for about the past 18 years, doing the whole range of different genres as they've gone past. Scott, who fronts the band, also involved in a bunch of other projects, whether that be noise projects or has gone back to some Scrams bands. There was one that was recently announced. Was that I gotta Scott? Where's your Instagram where you've put on every bloody band you're in? There it is. They are in Cadmium, Perfect Light, Millimeter Wave, which is that noise project. Celestial Tapes, which I think is another I think that one actually broke up, sorry. I think a bunch of the stuff on here is actually like bands that they've broken up from or blah 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 blah. But there's Doom projects in there as well. Yeah, an ambient post rock project. All that's been around in the past 18 years.
Sure.
While still being involved, like World at a Glance, despite having strayed away from being a Scrams band at this point, still regularly plays the shows. Whether that be from older bands getting them to play or newer bands. It's one of those. It's kind of like in the run way of doing it, which is it's more about DIY than it is about the people you're playing shows with.
Sure. I see that they've done a 4-way split as well with some other bands,
Yep.
including a song called
Um,
The Surf Rock Tricks.
Ooh.
in terms of the actual material on these EPs, I think that I like listening to them because I like this type of sound, but they're also not like at this point of having gone through the amount of emo that we have in our lives. It's not the most unique or different different ones out of there.
No, that's
Does it
fine.
fuck? Yeah, but not really much more than that.
It's kept me interested in what World at a Glance is doing. So like, it's not about is it like one of a kind amazing. Only so many bands can really do that.
Yeah.
Sometimes you just got to be a solid technical scrams band. And I
Yeah.
think so far they've proven that with these 2 small EPs.
Now there will be a lot more to go into as we go further down the line, because spoiling it all at once is both one hard to do when I haven't even done all the research yet, and two kind of pointless to the whole for the whole journey of this. Yeah, I've probably focused a bit more on Scott on this one, just because, as I've said, they're the most consistent part of the band. But other members from current and past have been involved in other projects. Quite recently, I know one was in And the Mountain, which is a newer kind of screamo band that's coming up. I have to correct myself with some of the newer members of what their previous work had been around, but basically the quick summary of this as basically I'm turning all these little EPs that I'm doing to start off this project not more into a critique about the EPs, but more so a getting context towards the whole history and everything, blah 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 on it. There's a lot to cover. There's probably a lot more research that can be done that I haven't done. I forget where I'm going with this, but I'm going somewhere.
I mean, I'm looking at The Longest Shadow Can Only Recede, and that seems to be very much a doom metal style album.
Hell yeah.
So I was like, oh, is this kind of what I was saying what Slift was? Because that screamed to me kind of doom metal emo meeting a little bit.
We will get to there. I can definitely promise you that.
All
But
right.
we've also just got a lot of their discography to cover first.
Understood.
But yeah, I mean, both of these are good old cheese sandwiches to me. But as per usual with the stuff I'm covering for this project, it doesn't matter.
It's about listening to it.
It's about
Yeah.
listening and getting the context and history more than it is trying to put these up to compare.
It is a blender.
I will agree more on the cheese sandwich side. I think the other band, Short Stories, is a little more undercooked, but it's still a solid cheese sandwich.
And now, Dominic, finish us off this week.
All right, we're at the tip of the horseshoe at the very end, tossed like a hand grenade onto the pitch. Did we make it onto the pole? Did we hook on? Yeah, kinda. It's Justice Across the Universe, the live version of their seminal album Cross.
Yeah.
This was my introduction to albums that sounded like this. Before I listened to Daft Punk, I had Justice. So this album has quite a bit of meaning to me, at least.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
Having listened to Daft
Yeah,
Punk now, I know that this is like a style and a thing that bands do. But to hear all the songs so casually mixed together and kind of the barriers are blending was really mind opening as a high schooler.
So, the best thing about this is comparing it to U2, because it is quite easily night and day of your picks.
Oh yes, of course.
Yeah, it really gives it a leg up. I don't particularly get the hype. I can get it as a great kind of DJ set to watch, because obviously you can see elements of all their songs and all that kind of get mixed up around the whole set and everything like that, and it feels like an actual like continuous a continuous live set more than it is just like in playing the songs or in DJing to each kind of part. It feels like there's a reason for it to exist how it does, and that's full fucking credit to that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't. I gotta have to really apologize to you, Dominic. I didn't really get a chance to watch the movie.
I didn't.
I
I've watched it
didn't
before.
either.
I didn't watch it this time.
Yeah, timing like that's just not gonna work for me. For a while, unfortunately, like that.
No,
But
that's why I threw it in the last
yeah,
thing. Like, if you want it, it's here. From what I remember, it was not the most super flattering look at Justice as a group. Very, very 2000s coded in some ways.
Gotcha.
Very millennial, late 2000s specifically, which, you know, some good, some bad with that. But no, so like this is the thing, right? I feel like had you talked to me at the beginning of this show, I would have said that this is a live album that to me is right up there with Jittery Joe's. And I don't quite believe that anymore.
Okay.
Like, it's still interesting to listen to, but the magic is not as there as it used to be for me. I don't know why. Maybe I've just listened to it enough.
What would you say number 2 is now?
Oh no, I have no fucking clue now. I had to look through everything we've covered to see if I can at least pinpoint something. But
Fair.
I'll
Broke Dominic with that one.
I'll have to look for that later. But yeah, it's still cool to listen to. I do like the way the songs went. This is also where I first heard Master of Puppets. So again, opened many doors for me.
I feel like you've shared that before.
I don't remember sharing that before, but I probably did. I've been doing this show for 7 years now, almost.
Yeah.
But
and we lost the archive.
Right, can't check now.
No.
But
we lost them in the Crusades.
Yes. But it's interesting.
You know, my second favorite live album is Dissonant Waves, live for the anniversary show 2020.
That's a classic.
Yeah.
A true experimental noise rock live album.
Indeed.
I really do want to like this more. I just this is probably not the strongest week that we've done. It's not particularly a bad week outside of U2.
Is that you've heard these songs before and it doesn't? That's why it doesn't grab you, or?
Well, no, because I love Shaky Graves live.
But Shaky Graves live, I mean, even for me, I've been well documented saying that I much more appreciate Shaky Graves as a live performer than I do as a studio artist just from those live albums. And it feels like the actual songs on those live versions, they exist more than just the audience applauding to them like it feels on this. This is just it's just the songs with applauding on them. Yeah, sure. Like I said, they've done it as a mix, and all that mix comes around as an actual reason why that exists. But also, wouldn't it probably just have been better to listen to the mix?
I mean, I get like wanting to celebrate the hype because like that audience sounds super hyped for that show. I feel like so many live albums just have kind of clapping and audience stuff, and it's like yeah, we get it. But to me, this audience does sound specifically very energized and very into it, and like the way they mix it or the way it just kind of happened. They just
and that's cool. And that's great.
Yeah, they just did it the right way where the audience actually felt like a part of it in a way that was interesting.
And straight up, that would have been a fantastic fucking show to go to. Let's not beat around the bush on that. But we're judging it by the album.
Yeah.
And the album's kind of just like, it's cool. It's great that it's documented like this, and people can come back and listen. That's fine. So, but in terms of like its reason for existing as an album over a studio album, or a compilation is basically just from the mix. There's no real changes to how the songs are in certain ways. I mean, I know DANCE is a bit kind of mixed in a different way, so it's not entirely true. But
And they do throw a
there's
lot of
no
other stems around into other
yeah
songs, so they
yeah.
do give them
It's
some
not
of each other.
entirely yeah, like I said, it's not entirely true. There's definitely differences to the songs, but I don't think it's warranted enough to be kind of as the live setting here. You know, I wouldn't go back to the live version of DANCE as a standalone song. I would go back to just DANCE, and for this, I would. I guess maybe that justifies it being more as an album, sure, in a way, but it's just the live setting for it does nothing.
Did you both get a chance to listen to the one track that was not on streaming?
I did
Uh,
not.
no, the cover of Soul Wax I did not. I had to absolutely apologize. So I can't judge on that.
I've never heard that song like outside of this context. It just
This
sounds
is excuse that we're making.
yeah, that's the song, but it just
Yeah.
feels like a domestic dispute unfolding.
I have to go back. I have to go back and listen to that part. I have to.
It just feels
Yeah.
very weird having not listened to that song by itself. Like in the context of this, I'm just like, where is this argument coming from?
To be fair, NY Excuse is a very kind of chaotic song.
Yeah.
So
Mhm.
I could see that. I should see how that goes into that context. Without it, I can't really judge. Yeah.
But it's cool they did a couple covers before they finished off the set. Like that and Master of
Mm.
Puppets is just like mixing Master of Puppets with the party is really inspired and interesting, I think.
Yeah.
That is the most oil and water songs you would think that would exist in this context, but they work really well together somehow.
Mm.
Yeah. Strange.
And they did a Beatles reference, so that's something cool too.
Yeah. Always fun.
So now we've come alive and we've covered the live album. We are ready to face the podcast anew. Does anyone have anything else to say about Across the Universe?
No, I don't think I'm about to fall asleep, to be honest.
I would rather listen to just straight up Cross.
At
The
this
fall
point,
asleep was not a comment on the album, by the way. That's just my
yeah,
physical.
yeah. I find myself liking Cross more now these days. From a while these were about equal, but now Cross is definitely better. But I will shout out NY Excuse and Finale, aka Master of Puppets, as just like really weird things they did. I like this version of Let There Be Light. I like this version of Genesis. My least favorite, I don't know, like the version of DVNO is fine, I guess. I don't know, some of the Phantom stuff got a little bit long. But they were all pretty solid mix to listen to.
I think I'll just agree with you because the I agree. I like the Master of Puppets kind of ending at the end, but I
Yeah.
don't really particularly have a favorite or least favorite outside of that. So,
Yeah, I don't think so either. I always enjoyed DANCE. I don't know.
all right. Well,
Mm.
shall we rank the releases?
Curious how this will go now, because I was not expecting the responses this week to be like they were.
Okay.
Well, least favorite for me is U2.
Well, yeah.
Then I'm going to put I would probably put Slift after it. And this is where it gets a bit tough now, because I'm not gonna rank the sleep single. Then I would probably put Spatial Proximity. Then I will put uh the split with short stories. Then I'll put Across the Universe. Potentially, but they're all about
You're
the same.
you're missing one yeah.
I was gonna say Dirty Harry probably kind of just wins out of default for me.
Yeah. Okay, interesting. Tricks?
I'm just gonna kind of go vibes here.
Yeah, that's fair.
Uh, I'm gonna throw you two at the bottom. And then I think I'm gonna throw both the World at a Glance EPs. Then I think I'm gonna go Fantasia, um, Across the Universe, Love and Piss.
Hmm. All right. Well, U2's at the bottom for me. Then I'll put the Split EP, then Spatial Proximity, then Dirty Harry, then Justice. Number one is Slift.
Oh, Universal last place, so
I mean, and all like the first three albums are basically about the same thing. Justice and Slift are both French. They're both basically about love and piss anyway.
That's all the French do is love and piss. It is the
Exactly.
Germans that piss.
now what are we doing next week?
My friends, it is time to calm down. It is
That's what you
time
think.
to relax. For me, I've done a lot. I took us through hell and back.
Yeah.
So I'm just gonna put the new of Montreal Aether Mead, and let's all have a good time.
Okay.
And that's it. Nothing else.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm also not going to have a big week, and I mean, this technically continues in Oscars just because they're on the directory, but it's really not. It's not a history. It's a new release. I'm not going to be doing any other EPs to attach to it because don't really want to. New Swap Meet albums out. Mount Zero.
Okay. Um, first of all, I would like to say blame Dominic for a part of this.
Yeah.
Oh goodness.
So, Dominic, I challenged you to reverse engineer why I was picking what I'm picking. Did you do that?
My guess, as the closest I could get, was that you were planning to either cross John Dwyer over with something like Dr. Dog, or lead us specifically into something about John Dwyer's work. Whether it's about a specific instrument that they focus on, or something that you really want to highlight.
Now, chicks, without
Um,
knowing exactly what you're picking, can I take a guess at what your goal was?
yes.
To make me upset.
No, actually, because I think you like one of the albums I'm picking.
No,
Um,
one of them.
uh,
Okay.
yes. So, I stumbled across an artist, and the first time I listened to them, I thought that this was another artist from another era. And so I want to talk about the drums. I
Yep.
want to talk. I want to talk about their album Portamento.
Right?
I
That.
wanna play something.
Yep. And I found another artist by the name of Fairy Baby that is producing music that sounds exactly like that album. And so we're gonna talk about the CP and see if it compares. And then, because I have probably no other chance to cover it, I initially was gonna do this as like a see how far you can go without turning it off, and we'll like compare high scores. But because Dominic shut me down last week, you have to listen to all of it. It is John Dwyer's project, The Drums, where it is just him and another drummer playing a shared kit.
Ah.
I swear there was an experimental one with Zach Hill, and I swear it was with Janet West and someone else, where they did an album like that, where they're just drumming for like 40 minutes.
This one's only 20.
Okay.
So it's two different bands called The Drums.
Yep.
I did not know that.
And one of them has John Dwyer.
That was very wrong.
Completely.
I heard John
Yeah,
Dwyer, I heard
Drumgasm's the
drum.
one that I'm on about, by the way. It's Janet West and Matt Cameron from Pearl Jam with Zach Hill. Drumgasm, an album that simply featured the three bashing their kits for 40 minutes.
Wild.
I bet this John Dwyer one will sound very similar.
Probably.
Well, that means our next episode will be of Montreal's Aether Mead, the new Swap Mead album, which the title is
Mount Zero.
Mount Zero, and then the drums, Portamento, the EP by Fairy Baby, which is Jabbermouth, and the drums by the drums, the John Dwyer version. That's it for
Yes.
Dissonant Waves this week. My name is Dominic. You can catch me editing this podcast and being on Blue Sky at dacichocky.bsky.social and being very thankful that I finally figured out my audio issue because it was driving me fucking crazy. And I apologize for any shitty audio you will hear between the next few weeks and now.
I have been Ritalin. You can catch me falling asleep.
I have been Tricks, and you can also find me catch me falling asleep while playing this guitar I bought for $40.
What a life to live that would be. Well, that does it for us. Have a wonderful time, everybody. Goodbye.
Goodbye.